Good evening, everyone. It is August the 18th, 2025. Today I'm going to do a thing on what's been, well, my next video that I'm going to put up, I should say, is who's affected by drugs. And I think it's important that it's something that I've also mentioned previously in another video of mine that I put up on March the 5th, 2023, and it was more on mental health as well. And it was about the pain that people are suffering, and particularly, and it's also with this film that I'm going to put up, or this video, is explaining how trade workers and that, and people who in certain trades are more likely to be ones that are end up going into drug addiction and getting the drugs from the streets eventually. And I wanted to bring my video back up from 2023. The one that I did was how this affected me terribly, because, and it affected my husband, who was in the trades. He did maintenance in a garage, and it was and this was OC Transpo at the time, and it affected him terribly to the point where he injured himself, and he was changing the tires on the buses, and he pulled something in his shoulder. Well, it came from the shoulder to the back of the neck, as I explained in it, and left him in chronic pain. And it just got worse and worse. And then, of course, he was taking the Percocet and oxycodone prescribed by the doctors. And then there was lawsuits against the doctors because the prescription drugs were getting addicted. People were getting addicted on them too. So people were turning to the street drugs at the same time. And it didn't help matters very much. The addiction, it really affected the marriage for certain, where he lashed out on us if he was in pain, and he kept using the excuse, well, as I need the drugs because then I'm not in pain and I'm not going to lash out at you. But that didn't work out as well either, because even when he was taking the drugs, he still lashed out. And it really took its toll on me and the kids as well at the time. So I think we have to look at all kinds of things that are happening to people, why the causes are, and I think I was really glad to see that put up, and I think it's well worth watching this video on pain and how it affects people. And I know even myself, how do I deal with my day-to-day pain? And that's from having arthritis in the knees and the hips and the lower back, as well as a slowly disintegrating disc in my lower back, as well as the fact that when I was born with dislocated hips, and at the time they didn't know. The doctors weren't even sure I was going to ever be able to walk. And so they were debating, well, are they going to have to operate on me, or are they going to have to put me in a brace, or what they were going to do. And thankfully, to my mother, who was a registered nurse, she believed in physiotherapy, and she used to take my feet by the ankles, and she used to go like this with my hips and that, like I was riding a bicycle, and she was able to get my hips back in place. So I've had to deal with certain types of pain over the years that my hips have given me off and on. But now that I'm older and I've got the arthritis in them, it's a lot worse. So how do I cope with it? Yes, I do take some over-the-counter pills when I have to, just to try and take the edge off of it. But then again, the doctor's advice was, with the pain that I'm in, that the best thing to do is keep working, keep moving. So that's why they say go swimming, do walking and that. But when you're in pain, it's very painful. So that's one of the reasons why I've talked about my service dog, Heidi. And that's one of the main things that she does, is she helps me with my mobility issues, so that I'm walking because of her. I mean, the other thing was when I was in the hospital there in 2003, and for the infection, and then my knee was swollen out to here, and of course the infection, and it was sepsis, and it went in, and they had to drain my knee and that, and I couldn't walk. Again, I had to struggle because I lost my muscle power in my legs, as well as which I was in so much pain that I couldn't do anything, let alone getting out of bed, and then trying to do the physiotherapy. And then I was just so glad that I had trained Heidi enough at that point that she was able to take me for a walk. So, and then I had to go up, because I don't have an elevator in my building. There's 6 flights of stairs. So how do I get up and down 6 flights of stairs? Well, that was Heidi. She helped me. She knew I was in, she senses when I'm in pain. She knows when I have to slow down. So she slows down. Sometimes I'm at a tortoise speed. There's other days I have a good day, and then I'm almost running with her. And now I can also run once in a while with her because she's helped me in that way. I can usually, if I'm not walking with Heidi, I have to walk with the cane. But I found because she's walking with her, even when I am in a bit of pain, I can actually walk without my cane short distances now. So she has been a great deal of help for me to walk. And there's just so many little things that she does. Like, she notices sometimes with the pain I go off balance, and a couple of times I've fallen off the sidewalk and I scrape my knee, and she's looking at my bloody knee, which I scraped, and like, that's not right. So she figured it out in her head. No, Mom doesn't need to fall off the sidewalk. So she feels me going the wrong way with her, because this is where our body language with one another comes in handy, that we're so bonded. If she feels me going the wrong way, she automatically pulls me back onto the sidewalk, so I'm not falling. And if I fall, she usually tries and throws herself underneath me, and this is again in wintertime, which is very helpful to me, because quite often, you know, even though I'm looking at the weather forecast, oh yeah, going to be a definitely freezing rain, things are going to be frozen over. I'll need to put those little spikes you put on your boots, try and keep you from falling. But sometimes you're out and you get caught, and there's black ice underneath the snow. So she and I have figured out a way. We just shuffle along, and I say easy to her. She follows me very carefully. If she feels me going to fall, she tries to, and she can't get me into a safe position. She turns around, as I'm going down, she throws herself under me. So what ends up happening, she helps to cushion my fall so I don't break anything. And I know one time it was kind of funny because it was black ice underneath, and there'd been a snowstorm, and of course we had a high snowbank. So she, when I started going down, she quickly pushed me right into the snowbank, where I landed into the snowbank. A little wet, but at least I didn't hurt myself. So there's many things, and that's why I always talk about the service dogs and how handy they are. And she just senses when things are like that. So I keep exercising, and so I don't have to go to the drugs. The dealer looks at me, you keep your darn drugs, I don't want them, you know, and I'm happy, and I'm not going down mentally, because even with my ex-husband at the time, when you're in so much pain, it just drags you down mentally. You're not the same as what you are. So to keep me up and going, she keeps me going. I get out, I talk to people. Not only do I go to meetings, and she helps me back and forth for my meetings and things like that. You know, I get out, I'm walking, I'm in society, people stop. She's a talking piece. Definitely everybody talks about her, stops her, and everybody knows me, and you know, people, it's really good because my spirits are raised, I'm talking to people, I feel happy, she's happy, and then she gets me home at the end of whether I'm going to the bank or the grocery store sometimes, or wherever I'm going, and she takes me, I'm happy. So that's the thing, when you have drugs and you have mental health, the two kind of go together. If you're down mentally, it's so easy to get hooked on the drugs. I could do it myself, but I'm hooked on my dog because I know she'll protect me and care for me and look after me. And that's about the best way you can possibly be. So I don't want to keep this long video any longer, but I just want to explain the importance of how keeping your mental health up. And that's one of the ways that she does, and how to avoid having to take really strong painkillers. Like I said, I have my days. I have my good days, I have my bad days, and I have my so-so days. And sometimes when I get up in the morning, I never know which part of my body is going to hurt me in the morning. And so, and it disrupts my sleep in the middle of the night, trying to get comfortable, lying in a comfortable position to sleep. But I know Heidi's there. She comes up, she checks on me in the middle of the night. You okay, Mom? Yep, I'm okay. And then she sees me getting up. Yeah, oh boy. Mom's in pain, but she comes and sits beside me. Not like she can do anything, like taking a pill, but she's the next best thing because she always puts her nose on my knee or something, and she's always there to comfort. So it's a really, really good way of living, and the way I found of living and dealing with both the mental health there and pain that I'm living with. So I'm going to leave it there, everyone, today. So take care, be safe, watch your surroundings, and we'll talk again soon. And bye-bye.